Hello everyone, it's Aislinn here. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. So we are at the end of November, and I have no idea where November went. Or really where the last couple of months have gone. None of the planned videos that I wanted to do for my reading in September or October happened. September, I hit a big reading slump, like after the first week of September, and basically stayed there. And none of my September TBR got read. I shouldn't say that. I think one book got read. And then October, I read a bit more, but just didn't film for whatever reason. I don't know. And now we're halfway, or not halfway, we're at the end of November. And I've done a bit more reading in November here, but I didn't have any planning done, so I didn't do any filming, because I like to try and pre-plan my filming as much as I can. So going into December, I wanted to try and end the year with a bang. And December's a busy month, so I don't really know or can judge what kind of TBR I can set up. So what I decided to do is pull a whole bunch of books off my shelves that have been there for a while, or were books that I was most excited to try and read this year, or new purchases. Sorry, that's the third one. They might have been new purchases over the last couple of months. And basically I put them all into a spinning wheel of random, and that is how I'm going to choose the books I'm going to read in December. So I'm going to go through the books that I have set aside so that you can kind of see what the options are. But I don't know what order I'm going to read these in. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get to. Basically, if a book gets chosen by the wheel, I'm going to finish it. Unless I'm absolutely hating it and it needs to go into the library donation pile, in which case I will DNF it, put it in the box that's got to go to my library in the new year, and spin again. But it's not going to be for books that, because I have a habit of this where I get halfway through a book, I get 3/4 of the way through a book, and for whatever reason I put it down and get sidetracked and then come up to it like a month or two later. That is not what the plan is for this. That is not the challenge I have set for myself for December. For December, there's no putting books down and coming back to them later. They are either flat out DNF, gotta go to the library box, or I finish them. Those are my only two options in December that I'm allowing myself. I am also allowing myself some audiobooks. I am currently working my way through the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. I am on book 2. I listen to audiobooks a lot while I am doing crafting, while I am traveling to and from work, or if I am, gaming and don't need the audio for the game, I will have audiobooks in. So I do have audiobooks aside, and I'm not including them in this challenge. That is just something separate that I can do so I can still enjoy reading while I am doing things where I can't have a book in my hand. The books that are on this wheel are all physical books, so these are books that I will actually have in hand. I'm also going to try and track how much I can read in a month. Why? Because I want to know the number. That's why. There's no particular challenge there, no particular goal. I just want to know how many hours in a month, if I really focus on it, I can actually read. And that's kind of the only thing I can think of now for the premise, the setup. So I'm going to get into, this is a massive pile. There's a lot here. I don't even know how many's here. Oh, well, there's a lot. So let's just jump right into the list. And I had to make a smaller list because my physical book TBR pile is absolutely ridiculous. It's 4 bookshelves full. So I had to draw a line somewhere, or I was going to have like 200 books on my wheel spin, and I didn't want that. Another thing is, so when I spin the wheel, if it's part of a series, I've only put the book that I'm actually on. So meaning if it's book 1 that I haven't read, that's what's on the list. After I finish it, I will take it off and I will put book 2 on. If I'm on book 2 and it's, then of course book 2's on the list. If I read it, I'll take it off, put book 3, that kind of thing. So this could potentially be where I read a series all month. I don't know. The wheel will tell me, I guess. So anyway, let's get into what I've got here. So this is YA fantasy about an assassin's school. It's by Melissa De La Cruz. Queen's Assassin is the first one. Queen's Secret is the second. This is a complete duology from what I have found on Goodreads. So there's that one. You will recognize this one from my September TBR. This is Thief, Liar, Lady by D.L. Soria. I think I pronounced that right. I read the first 2 chapters of this before I hit my reading slump. Not a fault of this book. Just want to point that out. So I have to restart it. And I figured, you know what? This was probably if not one of the top 5 books that I really wanted to read this year. And it didn't happen. So it is back on the wheel because I would like to get back to it. Then I've got a quartet here. These are fantasy romance. I don't know why I'm in the mood for that, but I am. And it is the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse by Laura Thalassa. And the first one is Pestilence. I have book 2 of The Crowns of Nyaxia. I finished book 1 earlier this month, so book 2 is going on the list because I kind of want to read book 2 right away. So I hope it actually gets rolled. Then, The Amber Crown. I believe this was also on my September TBR, and I did not get to it. And this is a fantasy which has to do with, seems like a little bit of a ragtag group, 3 or 4 points of view, I think. Yeah, it has to do with like an assassinated queen and fighting for the throne. So, as most fantasies seem to have like some kind of fighting for thrones. Alright, these next couple, I believe, yeah, these next few are a little older from my bookshelves, so I thought it would be good to get in them. I think they're mostly YA by the look of them. Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross, and I can't remember what it's about, but obviously about Queen's Rising, I guess. I'm trying to not refresh my memory for some of this stuff because I kind of want to go into it a little blind. There's a reason. I'm picky when I buy my books, so if it's on my bookshelf, there's a reason for it. The next is the duology of Fable. So there is Fable is the first one, then Namesake. This has to do with mermaids. It is a YA, I believe, urban fantasy. Because it's not like set in a separate world, it's set in our world. It just has to do with mermaids. Then I have Edgewood. This was a bit of a newer purchase. I think I only purchased it last year. I think this is like a gothic romance. I think it's a gothic romance. It seems like it. Okay, so these next ones are all newer to me, purchased within the last few months. So I've got, oh, that's backwards. All of Us Villains and All of Our Demise. These are YA novels. That looks like it has to maybe do with some Tale of Two Cities or something. I'm not sure. There's like 7 families and a big tournament going on. That's all I know. Then I've got book 1 and 2 of the Deep Water trilogy. These are adult fantasy that has to do with mermaids. There is A Monstrous Heart and The Deep Water King. Then I have got, these are a couple of fantasy romances that have to do with fairy tale retellings. There is Twisted, which is an Aladdin retelling, and Scarred, which is Beauty and the Beast retelling. The other books in this Never After series are Hooked and Wretched. Hooked is a Peter Pan retelling. Wretched is a Wizard of Oz retelling. I like neither of those stories, so I did not bother picking up the retellings. I've tried Wizard of Oz retellings before and Peter Pan retellings before, and I hated them every time. So I didn't even bother with these. But I do like Aladdin. It is one of my favorites, along with The Little Mermaid. And The Beauty and the Beast is up there too. It's not my super favorite, but it's up there too. So of the series, these were the two that spoke to me the most, so they're the ones I grabbed. Technically, I think they're books like 2 and 4 or something, but from my understanding, they're all standalone in that series, so you don't have to read all of them. At least I hope not, because if I do, then those are going to get DNF'd. Alright, and then I've got Lightlark and its sequel, Night Bane. Again, these are YA fantasies. I have Rule of the Aurora King. This is actually the second book in the book I'm reading right now, which is Trial of the Sun Queen. So far, I've really been enjoying Trial of the Sun Queen. It's kind of like The Selection, but an adult version of The Selection. Basically, it starts off with a girl that grew up in a prison after being sent there as a child, and she gets jailbroken out by the king of a rivaling kingdom to compete in the trial of the Sun Queen. So to compete in this trial to become queen. Why that is a plot thing that I am not going to reveal, that I have just learned at page 126. But yeah, if you like kind of those competition for romance kind of things, then so far this has been really good, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I hope to have it finished by the end of the month. Not sure if I will. But I did throw the sequel on the wheel just so that I have it ready to go in case I draw it. And then the final 3 books, these are a little bit more heavier on the political side of fantasy. So we'll see how that goes. I got 2 by Alexandra Rowland. One is The Taste of Gold and Iron. Then I have Conspiracy of Truths. And then finally, by Rory Power, we have A Garden Burning Gold. And these are all kind of fantasies that have to do with some political intrigue and, you know, kings and princes and queens and princesses and all the lovely stuff. So that's it. That is my incredibly long book list for choices of what to read this month, and I will let the wheel take it from here. I hope to have weekly reading vlogs up, so we'll see how that goes. There will definitely be a wrap up for the new year. But yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be me choosing my first book for December, which I will spin on December 1st. Bye!